But eventually in this final clash, who will it be who should walk out victorious? Who will it be who should have the last laugh in the contest? We will see that as we stay out exactly in the lap of the mountains here and cradled by the graceful Tista River. I think it's time for cricket to take flight as well. We have seen some incredible action all around, and a quick look at the practice scenes. That is Meghalaya for you doing their very best, and of course they will have to come up with something crazy, something brilliant as well, because they are up against a very tough opposition. That's Sikkim rather. So yes, just those warm-up, just those stretches, and Meghalaya, and I think more importantly what they've done throughout the tournament is that they haven't just focused on being grave serious. They have also ensured that they have enjoyed their way. They've had smiles, they've had laughs, and they have had those war cries rallying themselves. And that is Meghalaya for you, running and stretching with a few heart signs, enjoying themselves. Purnimaya Gurung, the captain of the team, and just to take on the shape. The warm-up scenes, of course, Samaita Roy Pradhan, the big hitter, the destructor, the decimator, with the bat in her hands. And make no mistake, she's going to come out batting as Purnimaya Gurung, the captain of Sikkim, have won the toss. And she was pretty optimistic, pretty confident. And then her counterpart, Debashmita, she will not relent either. She means business. She means hardcore, scorched earth, ruthless pursuit of the title. Well, Sikkim, of course, the defending champions, they were the joint winners of the first edition of the tournament alongside Nagaland, who had already crashed out. It was Sikkim and Nagaland who met in the semi-finals, and it was a low-scoring thriller, pulsating until that very end. And that is what kind of tells you million words about the gentry, about the quality, about the sheer impeccable cricketing level that we have for all of you to unfurl in the next 5 minutes. We have our guests all set for today. There are a flurry of guests actually who are going to come in, and here are the two teams for the customary photo ops with the chief guests of the side. Meghalaya to the left, Sikkim to the right, and a frame that should stay etched in immortality for these young players. Memory which will never fade until that last moment of their lives and possibly beyond. This tournament has been a living testimony to the crowning glory of Sikkim Cricket Association's ascension. Over the years, they have been doing a phenomenal job, and it is expected that they will continue doing so in the upcoming years. And our chief guests, they are all set to declare the final, if not open, but readied to start. And the frame of glory, the frame of pride, the frame of prestige. And the team huddles before it all begins. It's the Sikkim team who will not hold back, who will possibly try and come out dashing and blazing on all cylinders. And that's Meghalaya for you. The war cry getting ready to take on the might of Sikkim. We'll take a look at the starting 11 of the two teams as well in some time. It rained last night, of course. But today it's a different ball game. Today it is all about cricket at its finest. And as the supports and cheers come pouring in, you're able to watch this game live on the official Facebook page of Sikkim Cricket Association, on their official YouTube channel, and most importantly on Crick Heroes as well. And yes, that's the toss update. Sikkim and Meghalaya. It's the captain of Sikkim, Purnimaya Gurung, who has won the toss and is elected to bat first. A quick look at the starting 11 of both the teams. Purnimaya Gurung for Sikkim, the captain. Mariam Subba, Nandika, Penina, Pramila, Pranita Chetri, Pritika, Primula, Priyanka, Diksha Gurung, Samaita Roy Pradhan, and Yuden Mit Lepcha. That's the full squad, of course. All these players, they come in gifted with immense talent and quality. And that's Meghalaya's squad for you. Debashmita Datta, Ajima Sangma, Dayaka Wardry, Indra Yakor, Wanyang, Louisa Tamang, Monica Fawa, Monica Singh, Neha Hajong, Britisha Nongbet. And definitely Dima Fishi Lama. Good morning, Sikkim. It's the clash of the crowns, and I have the two generals representing their respective outfits all set for the toss. Quickly introducing you to the captains, Debashmita leading Meghalaya, and then Purnimaya Gurung leading Sikkim. And it's time for the flip of the coin. Heads is the call. And tails, Purni, you have won the toss. What would you like to do?
Batting, sir.
Any changes to your team?
No change, sir.
All the best for today's game. Right, Debashmita, if you would have won the toss, what would you have done?
We would have batted first.
Any changes to your team from the last game?
No, sir. We are playing with the same 11.
All the best for today's game. Right, the news from the toss is that Sikkim, they have won the toss and they have decided to bat first. Right, the toss has been won by Sikkim, as said before, and Purnimaya Gurung, she has elected to bat first. Of course, it's a big chapter for her as well, and make no mistake that they will come all guns dashing. The final locked and loaded, the final to play host to some crazy action. We have got stars amongst us. The stars have rained down from the skies. And it all boils down here. It all boils down to this very moment. We've got guests who are here to witness this incredible battle. We are here to witness the guests putting forth their best foot. And that's the Sikkim dugout there, just ahead of the game, waiting for the action to unfurl, of course. And then at the other end, it's Meghalaya. Two teams who are not willing to back down, two teams who are willing to squeeze out their hearts and souls, two teams who are willing to make the most of this game. And that's a Meghalaya team before taking the yard for one last time. That's Team Sikkim for you, the top stars, the rising superstars. And that's Team Meghalaya for you, led by Devashmita Datta herself. A phenomenal all-rounder in the making. An all-rounder who can bring about a change in cricket. Right then, we'll wait for the players to take center stage as the final unfurls ahead of us. And there you go, the umpire striding out to the center to signal the start of the grand finale, the start of the summit clash. That's Team Meghalaya for you, led by Marky Blah from the sidelines. And then at the other end, the two openers of Sikkim, Samaita Roy Pradhan and Primola Chetri. The two destructors, the two decimators. They are willing to wreak havoc here in the beautiful mining ground. They're going to blend beauty with destruction. They are going to blend beauty with horror. And that's the war cry for Meghalaya. We have got a very hallowed list of guests amongst us. And there walks out the two openers of Sikkim. The introductors of chaos, the introductors of madness, the introductors of sparkling, rippling brilliance, cackling and ripping through every atom of the mining ground in Rangpo. Before they start forth, before they rock and roll with that cricketing acumen of theirs, this is where it all starts. This is where madness takes flight. This is where the two best teams of the tournament, eventually eluding the grasp of every single twist and turn, are out here in the mix. Not just to entertain us, but to give us a glimpse of what this means to them. This might be a cricket match for sure, but truth be told, in the heart, in the boiling cauldron of the players, I think they would deem it as nothing less than a gladiator's final battle. And this is Samaita Roy Pradhan for you, an actual gladiator who can get the ball flying to every single nook and cranny of the park for Sikkim. And at the other end, it's Primola Chetri, who is equally talented, equally brilliant, and a very good cricketer, a very good stroke player as well. And it's Ajima Sangma, one of the premium bowlers, premium fast bowlers of the tournament, to go over the wicket. 19 matches for her, 9 wickets. And she's gonna get us underway. And off we roll for the final. And it starts off with Samaita Roy Pradhan coming forward with a bit of a miscued hit there. Didn't really get the elevation that she was looking forward to. Field restrictions inside the circle. So of course, Samaita Roy Pradhan, anything fuller, anything that gives her the impression that she can come after it, she'll try and go down the ground. And that was a nip backer coming in sharply to that off pole, and Samaita very gingerly just pushes it away in time. And I think these are just the initial cues that she's willing to fathom the surface first before she lets the fury loose. Because again, it's always advisable that try and understand how the surface is reacting A bit of width outside that off stump, but not the kind of elevation. A bit of spongy bounce on offer, the ball sticking to the surface slightly there. I think both the captains, they wanted to bat if they won the toss, and of course Purnimaya Gurung, she won the toss. The moisture on the surface, it has been somewhat soaked in already. The sun has been shining bright and radiant from the very morning. Very gingerly portion out there by Samaita. Ajima Sangma with a decent enough start, keeping that line close enough to the off pole, ideally trying to angle it back in so that Samaita doesn't really get that free-willing leeway that she loves to. That's a beauty there. Bowl it quicker, bowl it on the stumps and keep that hard length in play. So what usually happens is then, given the fact that Samaita, she's got a big backlift, she will have to bring it down. When Ajima starts bowling quicker, Samaita have to first play that defensive stroke instead of the ball rattling through. That's good thinking there by Ajima Sangma, and always good to have an option like Ajima in your echelons. That is exceptional start against a destructor like Samaita. Ajima has kick-started proceedings with a maiden over that has sent the fans an absolute awe of it. 1 over done, Sikkim still to get off the mark. And the captain comes into the attack straight away. Devashmita Datta has been brought into the mix out here. That's the kids out here enjoying the game, and why not? At the end of the day, they have been a part of this tournament from the sidelines, enjoying themselves to the fullest. And Devashmita starts off with a quicker one to Primola Chetri. And Primola lets it slide. Had a bit of a tough day yesterday, Devashmita. Again, looping it up with a bit of an interner there. And a very gentle pushback there from Primola Chetri. She knows that this is not one of the surfaces that you will take it head on and come rushing down the ground. There will be times where you just have to play the situation. Slight width outside the off stump, cut away by Primola. Devashmita usually tends to get that classic off break in. And with Samaita silent at one end, I think Devashmita will like to get that same trajectory in, trying to nip the ball back into Samaita. Because ideally Samaita, she loves to play with the turn. So when you are trying to play with the turn, you have a high backlift, I think the matchup gets in favor of Samaita. But again, the tricky part is, what about the ones that stay straight? So
ladies and gentlemen,
take a couple of
I'd like to take your time as we are welcoming our guests for the day. May I request the President of Sikkim Cricket Association to welcome our chief guest for the day, Mr. Sanjit Kharel, Honorable MLA of the Namthang Ratepani constituency, cum advisor, Power Department, Government of Sikkim.
Googly.
We would also like to offer him a bouquet. Thank you, sir, for your gracious presence. Next in line, may we welcome Madam Linda Palmu Bhutia, the Commandant of the Sikkim Armed Police, as a special guest for today. Thank you, ma'am, for sparing your time amidst busy schedule. Next in line, may we welcome Mr. Timothy William Busnett, former MLA, as a special guest for the day. We thank you, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule to be with us today. Next in line, may we welcome Mr. M. Prashad Sharma, former MLA.
Power Department, Government of Sikkim. And
For being with us
Madam
today,
Linda
thank you, sir, for
Palmabhutia,
your gracious presence.
Commandant of the Sikkim Armed Police. Then we have got Mr. Am Prashad Sharma, former MLA. We have got Mr. Sanjeev Kumar Khati, President of Rangpo Nagar Panchayat. We have got Mr. R. B. Bishwakarma, Additional Director, Department of Sports and Youth Affairs. A very hallowed panel of incredible individuals. Bit of a break which can work in favor of Samaita, with the kind of momentum that Debushmita was already running through. I think she would have loved to get those balls on quicker. What's going to be the strategy? There is a deep mid wicket in place, not a long on. Flighted, Samaita takes it on the full and pucks it away to the fence. That is Samaita Roy Pradhan announcing her arrival to the crease. Had a bit of a reticent start, gave away a maiden over to Ajima Sangma, and the moment it was fuller from Debushmita, she was not refusing that invitation. But I think the idea from Debushmita is to try and loop it in, not exactly bowl that full toss, loop it in, get the ball to turn in. There is a long on in place, there is a deep mid wicket. That's the idea. She was planning to just drag it ahead instead of going all guns blazing to Samaita. That's quality thinking from Debushmita that time. T20 cricket, 4s and 6s are a part of it, so you've got to take your chances as well, particularly in the power play. Drags the length back. Gingerly pushed away by Samaita, will get a single by the time the ball's collected. In fact, looks like it has been denied. So 2 overs done, and Sikkim are 5 for none. Ajima Sangma to continue here. And when we talk about Ajima Sangma, that quicker one at all times, I mean, just it's interesting to see that how Samaita didn't want to strike against Ajima Sangma. Is that a calculated move there, considering the fact that she's bowled quicker in that last over, hardly given anything to the batters, particularly Samaita. Gunned the ball in to the poles time and time again. And a bit of an angler there. Then Premola Chetri this time just being a bit careful on that occasion. Didn't want to take that risk altogether. Lets it slide. And so far a brilliant start to this match here by Ajima Sangma. Onto her pads, clipped away. Fine leg was inside that 25-yard sphere, and she is not cutting it down. Good effort, to be honest, by Dima Fashi Shah Lamare. But at the end of the day, it's the ball that wins the race. Good shot from Premola Chetri. The ideal optimization of resources, field restrictions are on, and this is exactly where you try and exploit your options as a batter. And Ajima Sangma finally runs scored against her. Slightly slower into the surface there. Premola pushing it away quickly enough. So 3 balls to go from this over. So far it has been a tight start. Apart from that only ball that was struck away for a boundary. Once again, excellent comeback from Ajima Sangma into the surface, bowling it slightly slow. And as mentioned before, this is a bit of a spongy surface, so obviously the ball's going to grip onto it. And when the ball does grip as a batter, you have to think twice about what are the shots that you would usually play, when is the right time for you to commit. Because if you're not aware of that, then it can lead to some serious challenges. This time slightly quicker, but the ball isn't really coming nice and fine to the bat there. It's kind of taking a split second more, which will make life slightly difficult for Primula Chhetri and Samaita Roy Pradhan. Is there a bit of a miscall there made by Purnimaya Gurung? I'll tell you why. Because ideally the moisture with that sun shining bright, the moisture might look like as if it has been completely sapped, but has it actually been? Because the ball is not really getting the desired elevation. We'll talk about it in details in the next over. 3 done, Sikkim are 9 for none. It's going to be the captain again, Devashmita Datta. And she will be going over the wicket. Slightly loopy, nicely dealt with there, straight to the fielder. Yeah, I think once again, Devashmita, the only thing that she will be taking care of is just not toss it too full. That's in the air, it could have been a chance. Just short of Lamare at mid-off. This is exactly what Devashmita wants. Samaita Roy Pradhan to go aerial. And that is exactly why she's giving her the impression that it's fuller, only if you can take it. Missing out the mark there, the ball drifting down the leg stump. And just to give you all a quick heads up about today's officials. Sahadev Tiwari, the first umpire. The other one is Milan Chhetri. Match referee for the day, Mr. Napula Sherpa. Third umpire is Mr. Bhim Sharma. And Samaita Roy Pradhan. Not that usual rollicking overture that one would expect her to come up with. Just tentative, just knocking it around, and that's all. 3 balls to go in this over. Oh, what a beauty there. And once again, the surface coming into play there. This is not your straightforward batting surface. It will need understanding. It will need very careful, very wary assessment of how the ball is going to react. So far, it has been a minefield of question marks there, especially for someone as good as Samaita. She wanted that run initially, but sent back. A good bit of work out there by the fielder, of course. It was Ruby Chhetri, player of the match for yesterday. And a terrific performance. That's a quicker one. Nicely clipped away by Samaita. And she'll retain strike. 4 done. Kind of an untoward start for Sikkim, with 2 of their best in the centre. 11 for none. Samaita still on strike. And Ajima Sangma for her 3rd over. Ajima this time offering that back at the length ball. The line was good enough. Again, would like to come, or would rather like to bring that closer to that off stump there, with a bit of an in-swinging trajectory. This is very good captaincy, to be honest, from Devashmita. And good execution as well from Ajima. That's a beauty there. This one drifting away from Samaita. And this is an impeccable start from Ajima Sangma. Talk about a very disciplined overture. And here you go, Ajima Sangma. Right up in the alley of greatness. That's in the air. Won't carry though. What a start this has been. 5 from 18. These numbers are kind of alien to someone like Samaita. Ideally, it can be the other way round, with 18 outside the bracket, 5 inside it. But this one, it's slightly different. And truth be told, is something building here. Samaita getting a lot more restless. And the kind of batter that she is, the kind of destructive batter that she is, I have a hunch that something's gonna give. When the manacles have been locked in, and someone whose natural game is to hit the ball out of the park way too frequently, and you're unable to do so, that is when you try and manufacture shots. Full toss, that's a giveaway. And they've got protection for that. Samaita would have liked to just dispatch it away to the fence. And guess what? She can only find the fielder. This is like Ajima Sangma. She's kind of foreseen all permutations and combinations, and she's working her way to that. She's mounting the pressure on the Sikkim batters here. Has that decision to bat first after winning the toss at 10 a.m. in the morning. Is it a bit too risky there? Change of angle, round the wicket. And Primula lets it slide. 5 done, Sikkim are 12 for none. Ruby, player of the match, the semi-final, comes into the attack. Samaita Roy Pradhan, so she'll have a welcome change here. Devashmita didn't go forward with her third over, which means she'll keep one for the middle overs there. That's a quicker one there. This is very good thinking again by Devashmita. She's got Ruby Chetri, right arm leg spin. And the leg spinner, she'll take the ball away from Samaita. The last one, however, was the flipper. This one is kind of staying straight, slower one into the surface. Take a look at those numbers there. Sam Roy Pradhan, she usually someone who's known for hitting it over and over again. This time though, moves away. Makes room for herself, only to play it straight to Devashmita Datta at point. And Ruby Chetri, she'll be absolutely tickled out here with this excellent introduction. This time getting the ball to angle back in. Another flipper there from Ruby. Hardly any movement, the ball staying low, quicker. The quicker ones are coming into play only to avoid Samaita to go forward with that full bat swing, the high back lift. This time though goes slower, and that's gone through the fielder. Sweeper cover in place. I think Ruby would be slightly disappointed with that. I mean, she was keeping things extremely tight, so when the ball tends to go away from Samaita, she will get a bit of a breathing space there. She'll get a bit of an invitation to try and free her arms, and I think that's exactly what Samaita would have wanted. But right now, the need of the hour for Samaita is the boundary. Cut away powerfully, only to find the fielder. Straight to Lamare out there. Another excellent over comes to an end. 6 done. And it's Sikkim are 13 for none. Well, a look at the Sikkim dugout. We talk about aggression in the final. Guess what? Vibhushmita Datta says, I'll have the epitome of it. Ajima Sangma to complete her spell of 4 overs. And that's to keep Samaita dead silent if possible. Slightly fuller outside the off pole. Straight to the mid-off fielder. Good recovery, directed. Samaita might have been in trouble here. We'll have to take a look. We are going upstairs. We talk about getting the bullseye in place. And what a clinical hit out there. Let's see if Samaita will be heading back or not. Yeah, I think she's made her ground just in time. Yes, safe and sound. This is what happens when someone who's a natural shot player, you tend to take those shots away from her. She wants to work on getting those runs in play. She wants to work on manufacturing as many runs as possible. But a very good fielding enterprise, to be honest. This is pressure showing for itself. I think from here on, if somebody has to pacify Samaita from going forward with the shots, it has to be Primula Ajima Sangma to continue over the wicket. That stayed low. We already talked about the surface kind of creating a Pandora's box for the batters, and this is exactly what we mean by that. The odd one staying low, the odd one turning back in. And Ajima Sangma, she's made the most out of these conditions. She's bowled 20 balls, only conceded 6 runs. And that too in a T20 game. Down the ground goes Primula Chetri. And with the fielders inside the circle, she'll get a couple of runs there. Oh, it's just a single. Looks like Samaita, she didn't want that second. Is there a growing displeasure? Is there a growing discontent? You know, the thing about champions, the thing about champions is that they hold themselves together. They hold themselves intact until that last moment. And the thing about the ones who crumble in the finale is that there's always an implosion impending on the horizon. Round the wicket to Samaita. I think the ball might have pitched outside the leg stump. That is what might have saved out Samaita. Yeah, just outside the leg stump. It was coming back in. An interesting angle, to be honest, for Ajima Sangma. Coming round the wicket. I think the length is alright. She's getting the hard length into play, the 6-meter mark. Just coming in. This time pitches it a touch fuller. And Samaita just pushing it away for another dot ball. Still a ball to go in this over. What a start this has been for Meghalaya. They've kept Sikkim absolutely reticent as the guests. They watch on. And that has drifted down the leg side. I think when you're usually coming from round the wicket being a right-handed bowler, this is rarely a line you would see. But just take a look at from where Ajima is coming. She's coming from a very wide angle. So ideally what she's trying to do is, she's trying to keep the ball away from that off pole there and not really willing Samaita to go down all guns blazing at her. That can be one of the reasons why that wide happened. That's another gem of a delivery there. Sent back rightly. 7 done. Ajima Sangma with a spell of a lifetime. 4 overs, none for 8. 7 done. Sikkim are 16 for none. Scorecard kind of looking bleak, to be honest, for one of the defending champions, Sikkim. They would have expected something entirely different now. Primula on strike. Ruby Chetri comes in for her second over. Comfortable push out there, straight into the hands of Dayaka Wardry. She's still to come into the attack. Dayaka's to bowl. Ritesia Nongbet is to bowl. Indaria Kaur Wanyang is to bowl. Another gingerly push straight back to Ruby. This is tight bowling altogether. You know, when you have a leg spinner in the mix, the variations tends to bother you more. Quality shot that's gone through the mid-on fielder. That was struck with immense power as the ball hurtled through the gates, kissing away the fence, and that's the first boundary of the morning. Applauded with a massive roar from the Sikkim dugout, coming from the bat of Primula Chetri. Should have been a straightforward take, but again, kind of a bit too difficult, to be honest, trying to get down there just in time. And now the mid-on, moving in slightly finer there. Another drive down the ground there, should get a single comfortably enough. And with that boundary from Primula Chetri, Samaita now might also be huffing and puffing for one. Two balls to go for Ruby in this over. So far an excellent start, to be honest. Are we going to witness a classic leg break? Most likely, because deep mid-wicket has been stationed. It was the leg break, but it was quicker and outside the off ball. Now that's an interesting line. When you're going to get that leg break in play, you have to bowl it on the middle or possibly on the off and middle, get the ball to move away. But Ruby, she's just bowling it outside the off stump. That stayed straight. And the woes of Samaita continue. 8 done, Sikkim are 21 for none. There's still a lot of batting to come, to be honest, for Sikkim. They've got the likes of Priyanka Kormi, a good hitter of the ball. They've got the likes of their captain herself, Purnimaya Gurung. They've got Pramila Subba as well. So there's quite some batting out there. Nandika Kumari, make no mistake, another very good striker of the ball. So they've got depth in that batting unit. Now, in recent times, if there's one thing, I'm not saying that it has to be done, or I'm not saying that it should be the strategy, but in T20 cricket, we have pretty frequently seen players being retired out. That's to accommodate your power hitters in the blend. Of course, it doesn't happen so early. It happens rarely. It's more like a forcible call, to be honest. Monica Singh comes into the attack. Left arm off spin. Very interesting mix out there. Primula, the one on strike. 11 of 17, kind of spearheading the charge right now for Sikkim. Oh, what a beauty there. Slower one through the air, looped up. And Primula, barely any movement of her feet out there. If she needed to play that inside out, she had to clear that front foot of hers. This is top quality thinking altogether from Monica Singh. She's chained down Primula on that first ball that she's bowled. Slightly quicker, that's in the air, and a catching chance goes begging. What an opportunity it was. But again, not the easiest of catches to take. The ball dying on you. You've got to go down in razor sharp time. There you go. It was in the air, a miscued hit. Oh, a very tough catch, to be honest. Good effort nonetheless by Neha Hajong at short covers. That's another beauty. Quicker one into the surface, getting the ball to come back into the stumps. The arm ball for Monica Singh. This is where it all happens. This is how cricket kind of takes an uplift here. The strategies, the permutations, the experiments. Oh, it's gonna! Inside edge for Samaita Roy Pradhan, and an agonizing stay in the center has been cut short by Monica Singh. The celebrations begin for Meghalaya. This one was the quicker one, the ball staying low, and Samaita trying to play it outside their off stump. Gets completely beaten by the line of the ball as she chops it down to her own timber. That's a massive wicket. Samaita will have to head back to the pavilion. The first blow, and a big one as well. Samaita Roy Pradhan, she departs for 8 from 33 balls. Priyanka Kurmi is possibly going to come next. New batter in is Pritika Chetri. Both Pritika and Primola will have to come up with now a good partnership. And the problem out here is for Sikkim is that they haven't really got the start that they wanted. So they'll have to make up for that start and then go dashing. Obviously 100 would be on their minds, and then possibly they can add up 10 to 15 runs more. That gives them a bit of an additional leeway. But in order for 100 to come, they have to score almost close to 7.58 runs in over. So they'll need boundaries here. What a tight start this has been from Meghalaya. On the contrary, make no mistake, they've got Debashmita Datta still to bowl a couple of overs. Then they've got Tayaka Wadri